Hello and welcome to EFAP Mini Superchat Catchup for episode 294, the Boogie Fap. The one,
Oh, so if only it was 298, there wouldn't be the
yeah,
other 8. That's
we
still...
almost made it perfect. Well, some things just can't make it, but this was quite a journey and a difficult episode to even set up. I had to really dig and edit a lot of shit to get the whole story ready to go and to describe it in full. It was probably the most definitive character study we've ever done, and probably ever will do. We covered what, like more than a decade of his life, like,
Yeah, more
and
than.
with great insights and context, and going all the way back to like his first ever controversies, which involved just, hey, how come you don't take a position on things very much? That
Beginning
was
of the end.
like what he was dealing with back in the day. Crazy, and yet. It was funny because a lot of the audience knew where it was current day, but plenty of people had no idea. They were just like, "Who is this guy?" It's like, oh,
Which I suppose is possible. I mean, it's you think like, well, wait, but he was like really popular before. That's kind of like the unique aspect of Boogie is he was once very very popular. But I mean, for as popular as you can be, there's still plenty of people who are gonna have no clue,
yep.
be totally unfamiliar with all of the lore. So for them, it's a whole new adventure. Really, for us, it was more like retreading on the like previously on Boogie. It's like,
Certainly
yeah,
the
no, I
first
already know
half,
this.
it was kind of weird. Like, we just surfed through years and years of just like, oh, I remember that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Good times.
Yeah.
Well, times.
It's
But better for some more than others.
yes. But
Maybe
we're
good for
gonna
us.
read some of the messages you guys sent in during that stream and
Yeah.
best
Woo!
answer as we can. And so first, foremost is Leighton Gay. Well.
Were we late?
Were
Maybe. On the Boogie one, probably.
We were on
by
Boogie
like a
time.
minute. But you know what? It was worth it. It was
mm.
worth the wait. Sure. Free milestone, 17 months. This is either Bidget Bites or Bigots. I'm happy with either. Watching Boogie get EFAP'd again is now the only joy in my life.
That meme has got some legs.
That was the competition, right? It was that one and Tipples. They were gunning for the first place.
Yeah.
I forget what did win. What was number one for like the
I
meme
can't
of the
remember.
year?
Ooh, I can't remember either.
It had to be only joy in my life. It had to be.
I don't know. Tipples had a lot of
That's what I
power,
would
especially.
guess.
I feel like Tipples back then had a bit more of a standing.
No,
I
was
think
my
it's the
thought as well.
versatility of joy to my only joy in
Oh,
my
for
life.
sure.
Yeah.
I think it is the superior meme. I'm just saying I don't know if it would have been voted as such. I'd have to go check.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Being on EFAP is Boogie's new last joy in life. It'll go well past the known origin, that meme. It'll just keep turning up. Welcome to the sub club. Yeah, this used to be this little notification. We got a high wolf. I don't think he was there for that one, but he definitely saw the episode because he tore it up for the old highlights. Oh boy. Super chatting, insert X is the only thing that brings me joy in life, is the only thing that brings me joy in life.
Very, very, art like that one.
Artful.
Vicious cycle.
Covering Walter Waite's downfall.
Walter Waite.
G Kids has launched an official Arcane box set. If you want to support good shows, this is the time to do it. I believe grabbing that.
Yeah. I'm working on shipping shit to use expensive as fuck. You gotta figure out a cheap option. I think I've got one. I just need to get that over to you.
Oh, you know what? We'll sort that out after this beautifully.
Yes, we will.
Boop boop. Even Cancer doesn't want to be associated with Boogs. Cancer makes an official statement.
Yeah, Cancer is like, look, I can't take this kind of hit on my reputation.
It's Saturday, July 20th, 2024. Which is worse, the year 2024 or the year 2025? I assume it's been at least 6 months since I wrote this. Also, hi, Rags.
Hello! So far, 2025 is all right.
It's
Well-
not a good start at all.
No, it's
No, it's
no.
things are a-okay.
Well, what except for those massive fires.
Except for the historically enormous
Listen.
fire.
Look, things are all right. Okay, things will be fine. Just
Okay.
because you have a few fires and deaths, that happens. I mean, it's only halfway through January or so.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point. Is like if the year starts off with some
Bad
horrible, I mean,
ratio.
remember
We're getting it out of the way
2020
early. We're getting all the bad stuff out of the way
2020
early.
began with the massive bushfires over here, and that was like the first of many calamities of 2020. So I think that's kind of the view, It's like, oh, is this
Let's
a
hope
sign
for
of things
some
to come? Is
good
there just going to be a
news.
bunch of horrible things happen?
Yeah, we
things
get
progress.
some floods to balance it out, and things will be as they should be, and we'll carry right along. Like I said, just get it out of the way early. Have a bad January so you can have a great December.
Faking unalive attempts is the only joy Boogie has in his life. Well, as we went over, there's a lot of sort of sympathy points in claiming to have almost taken your own life, and he jumped on that train by saying, like, yeah, I eat food to kill myself. And it's like,
Well, and that's one that allows him to continue eating food
Yeah.
while not being dead. So,
Well, and it's just so much. It doesn't sound as pathetic as I love the taste of food and I want more.
Which is the honest answer.
Yes.
That is the honest answer.
Food, donuts, they're great. They are. KFC, I love KFC. I do.
No, you try to
Pizza,
commit suicide.
I don't know. Maybe there is something going on there. Like I think I don't know. It feels like you remember the episode where Randy, like the alcoholic one, where it's just like I'm Randy and I really like beer. It's like you have to say you're an alcoholic. It's like, well, no, it's like this idea of just well, no, I just really like beer. I don't have disease.
Shilling for the boogeyman man-child thingy. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
A shilling for the boogeyman.
Did you notice how similar the Acolyte is to the Arcane, or is to Arcane? The sisters, one bad, one good. Smilo's basically Silco. May burning the witch's base like powder. You saying we should have seen season 2 coming?
That's
Listen,
painful.
just broad similarities. That's all they're saying, all right?
I suppose season 2 had similarities with Acolyte and that it was terrible.
Many, yes. Horrifying ones. The second Boogie got into the same room as Destiny, it was over for him. I mean, that part's pretty, like, actually iconic.
It's kind of a fascinating event, right? That just as a side quest, Destiny just decided to look into what Boogie's situation was.
I loved when he explained the motive.
It was, there was a very simple motive that just happened just like that, just because of one thing that Boogie said, and that got Destiny to be like, you know what, I'm looking into this, and then very quickly kind of unraveled the whole thing.
Yeah, for those who are listening and don't remember, it was the CoffeeZilla conversation, and at the end of it, with the knowledge that Boogie had cancer, he said, obviously, I hope you recover, I hope it goes into remission, blah, blah, blah. And Boogie says, it's cancer, man. People don't generally get better.
Yep. And that just like struck a chord with Destiny when he was listening to it. He's like, but people literally do.
Well,
because
they obviously don't say that typically.
No.
That's just like it feels
it's
so.
It's just a strange thing to say that comes across as like profoundly insincere, to the point that it's like, wait a minute, hold on.
Sounds like you're farming, yeah.
And then it just collapsed. I do find it really amusing that essentially like basically a side quest for Destiny was like the most catastrophic damage that Boogie has suffered.
Like, it's like Breaking Bad. Like one line in the wrong place and it crashes the Empire.
Yeah, exactly. It's just and he man, he was pathetic during that entire arc, if you want to call it that. I almost don't like the term arc because it almost you know what I mean? Like it's just during that entire period where Boogie, where it was all the facade was crumbling about everything that Boogie had said about his cancer diagnosis. But he was just pathetic throughout that whole thing. God.
Well, and he still hasn't. Remember, he said this whole time he still very much might have it. He's just got to get it tested, and he still hasn't.
Yeah, like as if he doesn't understand what everybody's point is. You didn't know.
Well, there's that, but there's also just he just hasn't. He could have tried to use that to benefit himself, but he hasn't even got it confirmed.
Exactly, because I mean, he probably doesn't want to go
No.
confirm it, right? It's better than it's Schrodinger's cancer. Like as
Yeah.
long as he leaves it in there, then
Better to just say I
all
might have it.
possibilities are available. Exactly.
I almost forgot I was a member. Morlatism. Oh, you got
Hey,
reminded.
thanks, Boogie.
Oh, Crispy Critters, the tale of Darth Boogie the Wide. It's not a tale anyone would want to tell you about, or should, the depths of depravity. Yeah, pretty much. Also, does this mean Boogie is revoked of the Ultimate Showdown victory? Well, that was like a meme, but...
That was a meme.
Some people got really upset by that. It's like, guys, he's not going to beat Unicron, probably, okay? Don't worry about it. Probably.
I don't know, maybe if Unicron fell into like a vat of sugar. You made a Mountain Dew?
Donald survived the bullet just like how Jar Jar survived the Battle of Naboo by dodging and jumping autistically to confuse the enemy. TPM is a good movie. The defense sets. Sure, that's a... Jar Jar is probably the best part of TPM, right? That's kind of minute.
Yeah.
I think generally
Boy,
speaking,
we sure do love Jar Jar.
he was why the film got like pretty like well received at first, but then it sort
That's
of
why it made so much money.
It collapsed over time because people didn't like Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson as the...
Yeah, they're like,
Jedi.
oh, this fight saber light at the end.
It was getting in the way of the Jar Jar stuff.
It really was, and the music is it's a bit overmuch, a bit too much. It overstays its welcome, overpowers everything else. It overpowers Jar Jar.
Remember the poodoo scene where he smells the poodoo, like the Jar Jar?
He used to.
Yeah, that's like apparently there's a longer version of that. And it got cut for more like Liam Neeson stuff. And it's like, okay, cool, thanks. Apparently he touches poodoo at some point in the deleted scene. That would have been cool.
Oh yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's out there somewhere. The Jar Jar cut is out there. And we're just hoping that we get it. We hope it gets released so that the true fans can finally get the film that they, quite frankly, deserve.
A 4:3 aspect ratio,
quite frankly,
as originally intended.
It cuts away all the chaff that surrounds Jar Jar, so we can pick up more of the frame.
That's right.
So Destiny Movie Bob arc, huh? Movie Bob's just sort of... I can't even say this, but he's far less relevant than Boogie.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's sort of... Nobody knows what he's up to. In fact, you should probably look in on him every once in a while just to be like, you okay, Movie Bob? Still around? EFAP is the only thing that brings me joy in life. Also, hi, Rags.
Hello!
How damaging is a plot hole to a movie's quality? Like, if a plot's undone in the last 2 acts, but the story's good, what would you rate it? Hi, Rags.
I mean,
hello.
It's contextual. That's
the most robotic I can get with it is how much, like, does it occupy, how significant of the line. I try to view it in, like, threads, as in literal cause and effect threads, so any given character's journey toward a final thing, and then right at the end there's, like, a major plot hole that fucks up the thread, that would be, like, significant damage, but we often go by consequence, right? Like, how much does this damage in terms of where it was set? But it's very difficult to, there's no, like, definitive computerized answer to that.
Yeah, like, it just depends. The idea of, like, well, that's a hypothetical movie with a plot hole in the third act, like, what would you rate it? I have no idea.
It is difficult. When you talk about where does a movie tip from being good to bad, it's really tough to nail that down, like where the entire thing rests. I don't know, but as long as you can talk about each individual component well, and its implications and all the things that had been mentioned, I think that's more important than being able to say at the end, was the entire thing this number out of 10. But even the discussion of, does this one problem change the whole movie's quality, tipping it from good to bad, or what impact it has, that discussion's more valuable anyway, I would say.
Agreed. I actually think sometimes the numbers, you don't need it at all.
It's a fun little thing to have.
Yeah, if one is willing...
It's good for quick reference, but...
If one is willing to listen to us do a full breakdown, you wouldn't need the number by the end of it. However, if you did want to know, in the fastest format, what we thought of a thing, the number is helpful.
in a way, the number sort of is like a quick way to get a general gist of what we have talked about. And if you're sitting through what we are talking about, you don't need the thing that would do a bad job, abstractisarizing it. So,
thoughts on Destiny getting banned on Kick? Also, opinions on Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I don't know
I've only
anything about
seen
Neon
like 4
Genesis
episodes
Evangelion.
of it, so like I need to actually watch it from beginning to end. I heard it is a cool show though, so I need to
I've heard it's
watch it.
neat.
Was Destiny
But
banned on Kick? Remember this?
I don't. If so, I mean, I certainly don't remember why that would be the case.
let's see. He got banned on Kick one time for telling a kid in a Discord call he would rape him in the butt or in his ass and got banned. The one in July of last year was for hate speech.
Kick banned people
let-
for that? I didn't know that.
I think even Kick has I give him props at super good memes. I mean, it's just a joke, and I'll be unbanned tomorrow. No, I guess it's his reaction. What did he say?
Well, I mean, whatever the rules are, if he broke them, then that's that.
What did he say?
I don't know much about Kick.
Yeah, it was Oh, I wish. Tell me why. Bu- 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 bu-
What, I mean,
Destiny's Oh, is it the Oh, it's the controversial remarks about Corey Comparatore, the 50-year-old firefighter who was killed in a shooting at a Trump rally.
oh, okay.
That was what got him banned.
I could see
Including the
Kick
statement he would
ban him
mock
for that.
conservative fans if they were killed at the event.
Does Boogie still date that 20-something? The way to describe her I've seen that makes me laugh the most
She's
is
got at least a 40 IQ. Come on.
she's autistic Gretchen from Recess. I was like, holy shit, that's great. But the whole relationship is fucking weird. That's the conclusion you'll only ever have for that.
Someone out there for everyone. It should be inspiring. Even Boogie can get a girlfriend. So you have no excuse. That's right. You listening to this, you don't have any fucking excuse. Get out there. Boogie's got a girlfriend. Go trauma bond with someone.
How is Chad? Has Boogie eaten him yet? That's the roommate, the mysterious roommate.
Yeah, the elusive roommate.
Chad's just like skeleton in the other room that never gets filmed.
Just gets brought up every now and then to like bail him out of difficult situations.
Well, he also, when it's like, why have you got this huge bag of fucking Cheetos or this tub of Nutella or whatever? You'll just be like, yeah, it's Chad's. That's who that belongs to. Yeah, really. The stuff is right next to you. Well, I mean, like I said, elusive, man.
Chad maxing.
Yeah.
I wonder what dirt Boogie's got to know something about Chad. Boogie's got dirt on Chad.
Well,
Chad like cheated on his wife or something.
That is
Boogie
probably
knows.
true, but he'll do the claim of like, I very graciously allow him to live here for low rent, and he does some bits and bobs because after him, he's a friend. Very caring for everybody in the world, you see.
Man. Boogie doesn't deserve a Chad.
Boogies 1 through 2987 were taken. Yep. I'll watch this live because I got work soon, but I'm sure this stream will be Kino like the last Boogie episode. Also, hi Rags.
Oh, hello. And boy was it. It was the Kinoest of them all.
This Boogie one and the sequel Boogie one are already considered 2 of the most popular episodes of EFAP ever, so... I think you guys liked them.
They were amazing journeys.
We survived. We learned so much. Truly. Fred jump scare like 25 minutes in. I don't like this video already. Please don't remind me of Fred. Yeah, man. Classic YouTube, dude.
Oh, God, yeah.
Where it all began.
It took me a while to, like, register. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's like 2000s YouTube, which at this point was a long time ago.
Good time. Or not.
Were they?
Oh, well, not, innit?
Yeah. They were.
I'll say they were. Yeah, it was a cooler
at better
time.
times than now. Yeah, I suppose so.
Boogie's joining a band called OBCD. Yeah.
I see what
I
you
like
did
it.
there.
I like it.
Woo! Not on night shift for once. Watching these live is the only joy in my life. Also, hi Rags.
Hello.
Beautiful.
They were gonna make him the drummer, I think, in OBCD.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept eating the drumsticks.
Oh, I imagine that they're not very good to eat.
Well, that doesn't
Like,
stop
you'd be
Boogie.
getting your mouth would be getting sliced up by all of the wood.
No, Boogie's mouth is callous and tough from all of his consumption throughout his life.
Mm.
The Mountain Dew sugar has sort of caked the inside of it in this
So
protective
now it's like
layer.
a crocodile where, you could just crunch bone like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just got off work and only 20 minutes in. Today's going to be a fun watch. EFAP for the rest of it. Have fun, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Can you please give my twin brother Randy a happy birthday? His birthday's in August, but I figured I'd ask now. Also, hi Rags and the Queen J Longbone.
Hello. And
Well-
happy birthday, Randy.
Yes, happy belated birthday, and also for your upcoming birthday in
Yeah,
August.
that's right. We can do a twofer.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but like Randy doesn't feel like a real name to me anymore for some reason.
thanks to South
I
Park.
don't know why. It is,
Well,
yeah, because
maybe,
of Randy Marsh.
Maybe it's maybe his real name is like Randall, and it's just
Well,
my
I
twin
mean,
brother. We just call him
No,
Randy.
no. I mean, I know that. I mean, Randy is a real name. I just almost don't think of it as a real name, and I think it is because of Randy Marsh from South Park. I think that's why Randy's like a cartoon character name, not like a regular person name. But
Yeah, like it's
in
like
any case, yeah.
SpongeBob.
Wow. I don't know about that.
This is precisely
but
the
yeah,
birthday
no,
message Randy was looking for, by the way.
yeah, that's right. A happy belated birthday.
I don't know. I don't think that your name is real. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
If that is your real name, but happy birthday.
Favorite era of Elvis and favorite song? Thoughts on the movie? I like the director's concept, but didn't like the actor. Really?
Oh,
Damn, I feel
Austin Butler.
like that's
love
the
the
opposite
actor.
of the normal take. The normal take is
Yeah.
that the actor was great and the direction was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I liked the second half more than I liked the first half.
Yes,
There were a
agreed.
few legitimately bad editing decisions, but for the most part, I could go along with what this style was for the most part. I think that
Yeah,
in
I like
general,
that
the acting.
movie.
Yeah, I do like that movie. I do recommend it to people. Like I said, especially in the second half, I think it really starts to pick up a lot more. I like the kind of story they were trying to tell. I loved how it went through the different eras of time. Of course, the music was excellent. The actor was incredible. I think it was a really neat movie, and I like it quite a bit.
As for like an Elvis perspective, I'm not like actually really that familiar with like Elvis as a
I'm not a
as an
Elvis
artist.
story.
Yeah, I'm not familiar
a
enough with him to
fan,
give
really.
it.
I'm
Interesting.
not an
take on that.
elvologist.
What if Boogie actually had a heart attack on the podcast and died? Better or worse than if he had a heart attack on the podcast and survived? I mean,
People wouldn't believe it if he had a heart attack on the show and
wouldn't know.
survived. I think a lot of people just would not believe.
Well, I think
Yeah,
if
it's
he
like
died
actually
on
a case of the
camera
boy who
and
cried wolf.
like through some horrible circumstances, like the camera's just still on when the even the coroner fucking arrives or some shit. Like they just all of it showed. I don't think anyone would believe it. Not even for a full week, people would be like, nah, it's all a big stunt, because it is the end point of all of this crazy arc he's been on, of the faking everything. This would be the next thing to do, faking his death, which I guarantee you Keemstar's talked to him about. Probably been like, it would be a pretty good thing to do for the show.
It'd be a really good episode of LOL Cow Live.
I guarantee you Keemstar's talked to his lawyers about, like, can we do this in a way that wouldn't put him in legal trouble? Is it possible? Like,
How far can we go
yeah.
until we have to worry about there being legal repercussions?
And the fact that in my head is such a, like, definitely has happened thing means to me that when he does eventually die, which is gonna fucking happen, I'm
he's
probably not
mortal.
going to believe it at first. I'll be like,
I won't either. When I wake up and people ping me and say,
well,
like,
he's
"Oh
dead."
my
Be
goodness,
like,
he's dead," I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, talk to me tomorrow.
we'll see.
I want to hear it from
What's
the morgue."
if there's like a month of time passes, there's no word from him. I'd be like, oh, but it would still just be the ultimate stunt, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know if I don't know. And I think the angle, if he was to come back, would be like, I wanted to see what the world would say about me when I was gone. Or some
He wanted to have his Tom
self-pitying.
Sawyer moment. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
and then
Well, that would be,
he would collect all of the fucking things that were said, and make a whole thing about it, and be like, whatever issue you have with me for faking my death, it pales compared to what I've had said about me.
that
This
would
is what I
work.
mean. I can
Everybody
guarantee you
would
they
be
fucking talk about it for long enough, and Boogie would start being like, "That is a good idea." They would just be like, "Ugh."
because he's so stupid that he doesn't realize it's a horrible idea.
Correct. Bringy, thoughts on the Family Guy chicken fights, and which one is your favorite?
I like them. In a sense, I suppose they kind of are an acknowledgement that whatever story they're telling for that episode is like not long enough to fill up a significant amount of time. I suppose it depends though, because the first fight was like 2 minutes, so that's not too much. But the third fight, which I think is my favorite, that one's like 5-6 minutes long. You remember that one? It's the one where after the fight happens, like partway through, they recognize like, wait, what are we fighting about? And then they go out to dinner. And then when they fight over paying the check, then the fight breaks out again. I think that's my favorite. I think they did one more though. Well, actually, they did the one in the game. Did you ever play the Family Guy game?
Yes.
I liked that game, and I enjoyed getting to have a chicken fight in that as well.
It was alright,
But yeah, I think the third one's my favorite. I enjoyed the chicken fight. I enjoy that it's like an opportunity for a show that otherwise doesn't really do much with its animation a lot of the time to like do something with it. But yeah, that's I like them all, but I think the third one's my favorite out of all of them.
They used to advertise it as stimulating your sexual ability and stamina. Now it's drank mostly by the stereotyped as virgins. Talking about
Are they talking
Monster?
about like
Energy
Gamer
drinks?
Fuel or Monster Energy? Yeah.
Guess so.
Or Mountain Dew, maybe. I mean, Mountain
Is
Dew
that
is
what Mountain
definitely
Dew
the
used to
game
be?
no, probably not. Because I mean, Mountain Dew used to be. We looked into this, right? It was. It's actually like a hillbilly drink. Like it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
Mountain
like a
Dew.
country drink. Exactly.
And just the
Appalachia.
name, it's kind of in the same way that Call of Duty as a name has sort of unfortunately eclipsed what it used to mean. Mountain Dew is kind of the same way. It wasn't a super cool radical, soda. It was Mountain Dew. It'll tickle your energy.
Yeah.
Is the dew of the mountain because the hillbillies. But
That's Hill William to you.
well, we're in pretty good standing. So I mean, you can't call him that, but I can.
I'm sitting.
All the more reason that you cannot stand.
I mean, are you in a positioner? Because you'd be technically redneck, right? Not hillbilly.
It's a general catch-all term. It depends on exactly where you go. It's more regional. If you go a little bit further north of me to the Ozarks and up near like Branson, if you go in there, it's a big thing over there. Hillbillies and rednecks and that kind of thing. But even if you go further, east towards Tennessee and Georgia and even in the Carolinas, it's just the general vibe of the Ozarkian, Appalachian, West, or just country type folk, the country bumpkins and the clampets, that kind of thing. It's just sort of an umbrella term for that kind of folk.
Yeah. Boogie just posted his goodbye on Twitter. Yeah, I remember that. He was like, I'm God, it's over, everything's over. Angry Slug and the Salvo News team are covering it right now. It's all bullshit. It always is. He's pretty much embraced.
Twitter when he dies.
Yeah, like he's just his current thing is like he's the known liar man, so he just feels free to sort of say anything now. And,
in a way, yeah, it's very liberating in a sense that I might as well just do the whole thing because I'm already there. Once you're in the negatives, it's just like fuck it.
He'll just
man.
actively pretend like he's an insightful person on any given. Like they had an episode recently. Or I say recently, however fucking recent it was, where they talked about the fires, and it's like, what the fuck is Boogie gonna have to say about the LA fires? You know what I mean? It's like, what?
God, that'd actually be painful.
Yeah.
That's
But that's the idea now. It's just like anything in the news, which is of course you could say is like, well, isn't that a podcast? Like, well, yeah, but I mean, why don't you stick to the stuff you actually fucking know anything about?
yeah, rather than just like, oh yeah.
When was the
let
last time
me
he talked
throw
about
my-
games? He doesn't do it, even though it's supposed to be his
yeah,
like
but
primary
doesn't have
passion, his only joy in life.
He doesn't have any insight, but I'm sure he's got lots of insights into like, I don't know, fire management.
Fire management, yeah,
and
that's definitely
all
his thing.
sorts.
The most hilarious part about this current controversy is Boogie took an L from Destiny after the latter posted the biggest L of his career. Well, and that's kind of where the conversation started going. Boogie like tried to do research and get like a docket of his own to be like, oh yeah, well you're the worst person in the world. When it's hard to counter sort of balance
Well, you're not in a
when
position
you're
to have like any righteous indignation when you're currently trying to defend yourself for having lied about a cancer diagnosis.
that's just, you know, a list of horrible things you could do. That's just that's almost like a stereotypically famous you're a piece of shit thing to do, you know?
Faking an illness, yeah, that's
Well, especially
that's a bad
cancer.
One. Yeah, of all the illnesses, yeah.
Just too.
So
we said at the time, too many people, and we're talking like I think it's 1 in 3 either experience a loved one going through it, right? Like that's incredibly common.
It's a very it's basically like every person has a very visceral understanding of what it is and the effect it has on people's lives. And yeah, the idea that you're like, well, hang on, you can't be criticizing me because of these things that you're in trouble for. Like, it's not like what is the goal? Like, hey, everybody, stop being mad at me, be mad at him. Like, it's just not gonna work. Like, it's a stupid thing to. It's just a stupid thing, but it's what Boogie does because of just a refusal to like essentially take responsibility for the situation he finds himself in. He's always looking for an avenue, always looking for an out. Even when he basically like admitted to it, he still tries to like walk it back that didn't happen, you know? It's like he's constantly looking for an out, and everybody can see that that's the case at this point, so, you know.
Boogie will do something stupid again. It's inevitable. Also inevitable is you dumbos playing DDLC. You may as well play it soon to get it over with.
That's something to think about. That's something to think about. The sooner we get it done, the sooner it's finished.
Here is your obligatory EFAP Boogie stream is the only thing that brings me joy in life. Always enjoy when you cover Robert Brownie Jr.
Robert Brownie Jr.
Well, as you would have expected, you're actually late to the party with the joy in life comments. They usually come in within the first second. Someone will say it. I appreciate it nonetheless. Dicky Tom Pyrocynical document. That's all that says.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. After a bit of research, I'm fairly certain the cards Boogie was displaying in the first image were all basically worthless at the time.
Which image are you referring to?
Well, like Magic the Gathering?
Yeah, that's what I assume. I wonder if you remember which specific one.
It might be like a part where he's talking about, you know, like the sadness of having to sell his collection or something and amazing rare cards.
Because the thing is, you could just look it up what the prices are. It is a very big market. There's a lot of people who are invested, literally invested in this. So you can just look it up.
Someone sent me a clip that was from I think a month ago or something, where I was talking to Fringy about this actually. So Wings and Boogie are arguing about something. I think it's that Wings isn't putting enough effort in to the show. They're like trying to chew him out for it. And at one point they began to a point of threatening Wings, like with firing him or at least lowering his pay. And he responding with like, "If you lower my pay, I'm not gonna be a part of the show at all." And like, you know, Boogie's doing his usual bluster of like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker. Well then you can leave the show," you know, just stuff like that. And at one point Wings says like, he says like, "Boogie, do you want to know the reason why I haven't given up on this show and I've kept going this whole time? Like, the main reason, because it ain't money." And Boogie was like, "What is it, motherfucker? Like, what is the reason?" That he says, "Because I promised you I would help you pay off your house, and I'm not going to stop until it's done." And it's like this
Took
moment
all
that
the wind out of
completely
his sails
kills
straight away.
the vibe. And Boogie, you can tell, is like, oh.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do with that.
Because the meme was supposed to be that it's like, we're gonna get you fired because you're a piece of shit, you're not doing what we want. And then he just admits, like, the whole reason he's holding back on it is to help Boogie out. And so he has to switch to, like, counter sympathy. And he's like, no, that's the... And he eventually, like, admits, he's like, I don't even need that. The house is fine. I got plenty of money. I'm gonna be fine. I don't need to worry about it. Everything's fine. And it's just like, that's curious. I thought, like, the whole thing, you know... Boogie's classic for how you'll just... in any given scenario needs to create sympathy for himself will contradict any given fact he's provided prior that's getting in the way, just on a whim.
Yeah, because in that case, the one that he's been relying on is, I am financially stressed. I might end up homeless.
Yeah.
So to then be like, no, I'm actually good on that front, Wings. It's like, you can't say that, Boogie. That is
No.
incompatible with the story that you presented to the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's consistent with how he's presented himself.
Boogie is chaos.
I almost don't want to give him that. Like, it's,
That kind of
Yeah,
sounds
chaos
cool.
is fun and interesting
Yeah.
and dynamic.
Boogie has never done something more messed up than this so far. That's a quote from Asmongold about the cancer thing. Also, watch Paranoia Agent. Thanks for all the memes. Problem.
Oh, you're welcome.
But yeah, so far is
correct.
Of course,
like I said, it would be faking his death. That's the next place to go. We'll have to see, especially if Lolcow Live starts to lose its overall viewership.
If they run out of controversies to keep bringing it back into relevancy.
He's Eric Cartman made manifest. Eric's much smarter, like staggeringly, I would say. Though, you know, there are connections. I wouldn't blame you for that. I can understand why you might. I could see Boogie, when with a bunch of friends, taking all of the KFC chicken and just eating all the skin off.
and ripping all the skin off. Cartman, you hit the skin off of every piece of chicken! And then Kenny cries.
Yeah.
Which is very sad, because yes, I would be fucking livid if I got some KFC and someone ate the skin off of all the chicken.
So, like, so selfish and gross.
It's so rude.
Boogie has no rock bottom, dude. Just keeps digging and digging. Yeah, that's fair. I finally got back my back handspring on beam. Good. Glad. Excellent. Watching you guys watch Boogie is one of the only things that brings me joy in life. Subscribe to Quimbus Giftus Gift.
Quimbus Giftus Gift.
Do it. Boogie, truly larger than life character. A warning for us all. Oh yeah. Excellent little cautionary
It's
tale.
good that there are people like Boogie out there that you can point to. Like, hey,
this is
don't
how you
be
do
like
it
that
all
guy.
wrong. Yeah. You should get Big Bungee on sometime. Who that is?
It's like a commentary
Bungie
guy,
Studios,
right?
or
Big Bungee, the YouTuber. I think he's like
not
a
Big
commentary
Bungie, the studio.
YouTuber.
Okay.
Or a very large bungee that you would, yeah.
I imagine Boogie going into that bin when the camera isn't on, drinking the bin dew like an addict.
He licks it off the bottom like a dew-hungry whore.
Like Fry in the Slurm Factory.
Yeah. That's a fair guess, honestly. And I love how much that sits in my head just as a thing. The look, my proof that I don't like it anymore, and just fucking drools it all into
Ruin some janitor's day.
Buy it, open it up, and fill up this trash receptacle with it.
Asshole.
Ugh.
Yeah. Dick.
Like he can't help it. He just can't help to be a nuisance to society, no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, like it was beyond him that. Oh wait, someone has to clean that. Like someone has to get this bag that's now filled with fucking Mountain Dew and deal with it. And imagine if there's a puncture, that shit's gonna go everywhere. Like thanks.
Dicky as well.
Mm-hmm.
Cast the dew into the fire. Destroy it. Oh.
No.
I never did.
Diabito versus the Boogie Nort. Who would win? I've discussed this on other streams. The thing about it is there exists in the world of, competition counters. They can have very, very strong characters, but that are unfortunately incredibly ill-equipped to deal with certain other characters, even if they overall maybe have a higher power level. Diabito hard counters Boogie because he controls sugar.
Yep, being able to control sugar is like someone controlling your oxygen. It's
Boogie defeating that is going to be real fucking hard. Diabito is quite powerful.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm noticing a trend here. Nobody likes Boogie Woogie.
They used to, though. That's the thing. He used to be, again, Mr. Rogers of the internet,
Ugh.
which is hilarious to think about, given where he ended up.
It is wild that that's what
he enjoyed that time for as long as he could. He knew.
Yeah, he did.
He dreams about it every time he goes to sleep.
Right? The jig would be up eventually.
I don't know. Maybe he was deluded enough to think that it could just keep going on and on and on like that.
He tried to save it. Tried to staunch
did.
that
Well,
bleed.
Yeah, he did.
Which only ever made it worse. Had he not responded to any criticism ever, he'd probably be able to have maintained it forever.
But again, that's the thing. It's just I mean, it was his big problem on Twitter, right? He just kept getting into fights with people. It was like that was like one of the big catalysts for his downfall was that he just kept like getting dragged into fights on social media.
One could argue the more said in defense, the more there is to compare, and then the more likely it is that you'll be caught in a lie. That's just how it works.
Well, especially in the case of Boogie, who,
he's lying all the time. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, there's only so long where people just be like, fucking, you're a liar. You're a big fat party.
Yeah, if he was smarter and more charismatic, he absolutely could have kept it up.
Yeah. Boogie EFAP is the only thing that brings me joy. I know. Side note, went to watch the new Twisters movie. Lots of fun. Definitely some flismy writing, but likable characters. Glenn Powell steals every scene. I've heard good things about it, generally. I guess
I've heard not bad things either.
Like, broadly, people were expecting it would be an embarrassing, just legacy sequel thing.
And that's actually just kind of okay.
Yeah, it turns out it's probably one of the better ones that exists.
And,
well, I heard that movie blows.
Nice. Farewell and adieu to you, fair Flemish massives. Farewell and massives of...
Oh, farewell and adieu to you, and I hope you enjoyed the EFAP on Boogie.
At least
Who
Fat
knows when we will
Shamers
say
believe
farewell and adieu to him.
At least Fat Shamers believe in something. I mean, they don't quite believe in things as much as rapists do, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why did he say that?
Because it's the funniest fucking thing.
At least rapists and Nazis did something they believe in. I believe in rape.
Do you know he gets asked to say that on his what is it called, that service where you do something for $5?
Fiverr?
Oh yeah, I think it is actually just Fiverr. People like pay him $5 to just say, "Can you say to my mum, like, at least rapists and Nazis believe in something?" And he'll do it. Like, imagine that being your thing.
And he's like a 50-year-old man as well.
You have to, you just have to have that moment where you just contemplate. Like, I'm picturing like almost like a Renaissance image of him in his house, surrounded by.
Death of a Salesman of him like walking through like with like the light of the lamp post like in the street, beaming down on him with his head sunk low as he's shuffling towards like a camera.
There's a couple of ways you could take it, lots of styles. I just you got to capture just the he knows
the despair, just the despair.
That's an assessment of the life he's lived is so pathetic.
And this is where he's ended up.
Yep.
If he could have done things differently, he wouldn't have been able to because he can't accurately diagnose the mistakes that he's made.
Boogie.
Kind of almost a fascinating thing, isn't it? Like, if you could do it all over again, you'd probably fuck it all up because, like, you
fuck it faster.
Where you recognize that the mistakes that you made, how you made them, and what you need to do to fix them or not make those same mistakes again. He can't do that.
I'm almost certain he would be like, all right, this time I'm not going to reply to any hate. And then one day, on one stream, if he's doing it, you would say one thing extra than normal.
Because he couldn't just keep it to himself. He couldn't keep the charade up.
He'd just have to say, like, that's a lot of money for a person of color, or is it not? I don't know. And then as soon as anybody starts shitting on him, it would just happen again. He'd be like, well, no, hang on. And then it's over.
Boogie screwed Boogie. Keem McMahon. Keem definitely playing the McMahon role for him.
The puppet master.
Wrestling is far more real than Lolcow Live, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the reason why I'm basically not interested in watching it. Like, I'm not interested in fake bluster.
Yeah.
You know, Boogie. It's better when he's actually under pressure, when he's under real pressure, because of the stupid decisions he's made.
One of the favorite things for us, I think, would have been, in terms of that sort of real stuff, is, do you remember when, I think it was the stream after the stream reveal, he was talking to Destiny, and he's in this mode of, like, you know, I deserve everything.
Animal.
Yeah, I deserve it all.
HP.
Say whatever you want, I deserve it. But Destiny said enough things, he sort of slowly turns back into, fuck you, piece of shit, like, I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there he is.
Just absolutely drops. There's the real Boogie. It's you know, we talked about it, but like him screaming while on this one that might be the realest he's ever been in terms of like this is who he actually is.
What do you mean with CoffeeZilla?
Yeah, like the screaming "you liar" and stuff. Like that's
a
like
colloquialism. Google it, then.
Like again, again, I would want to reiterate it. Like Boogie is not Francis. Francis is banal in a sense. Like there's not. He's not like a schemer. He's not like looking for personal advantage in the same way that Boogie is. He is very almost like id in the sense of just like he wants to play video games and eat food, and he's bad at controlling his temper. In a sense, there's an almost harmlessness to like Francis, even though you know he's flipping the table and shit. Compared to Boogie. Boogie is a much more vindictive person. We talked about it. It was that time when he was pretending he was Francis, but like it clearly wasn't him doing the Francis because like he was really like going after people in a very
and there's the meme of
way that just
people say like, "Oh, Boogie's the fake character, Francis is the real one." It's like, no, it's neither.
No, neither of them are real. Francis is also no. Boogie is also a persona.
Yeah. Little Nightmares has some incredible environmental and gameplay. Can be pretty tismy, but the art direction's amazing throughout. I've seen a bit of it. I played a bit when I was with my sister, and it was I was like, yeah, this game's real pretty. I want to play it at some point. There's like 3 of them now, I think, right?
I don't know.
Ooh, they're on the Switch, I believe.
Okay. What type of games are they?
2D. Kind of remind me of Limbo. Do you ever play Inside?
No, I need to.
I know of it.
I've heard of those games.
Similar to that, and it's a world where you play as like tiny creatures in a world that's like horrifying and filled with, I think, humans, if not giant creatures that eat you if they catch you, and you just have to try and survive.
Oh,
that's what I got from
Boogie, a human who is a giant creature who will eat you if he gets you.
I don't know if he would even want to eat us compared. We'd have to be seasoned with too much
effort,
with lots of sugar.
It's like when a predator some predators don't even bother to hunt some animals because it's just too much work, too much effort. What's the point? What are we doing?
Hi Rags.
Hello.
What happened to your Boogie 298 video? I remember it coming out, but it's been removed. Also, hi Rags.
Hello. Yeah, I guess a long time ago I just chatted with him. I think it's unlisted at the moment. I think the reason was because before Boogie kind of went down, like before the fall of Boogie, I think he had
stages
asked me,
of falling, right?
Yeah, but while he was still like generally well liked, I think he had asked me once to either take it down or something. I actually I don't remember. I might have taken it down myself, or I don't know. I legitimately cannot remember.
Well, it would have been 8 years ago.
Long time. It's a long time ago.
Man,
we were both Boogie and myself. We were not the same people back then.
Because I didn't even know you yet, right?
This was before we met. Yeah. This was like way back on like my first PC.
The olden days.
This was a long time. Yeah. These were the olden days.
Like this super chat if you think Az is a cool guy.
He's an A-OK dude. Thumbs up from me.
Found the one thing he isn't a centrist on. What, cancer?
Dude?
The thing, he was never a centrist. It was all bullshit. He doesn't. It's not that he has like left and right opinions on any given subject. He has nothing to say about anything. He's just trying to live his life
like
as
he
a
will.
glutton. Like that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. And like whatever position he feels he can, if he can avoid taking a position, then he'll do that. But if he has to, he'll try to fall on whichever one is like most popular
beneficial and
at the
popular,
moment and most beneficial to his.
which is
Yeah,
why
his.
calling him a fence sitter isn't even like doesn't quite capture it.
Well, yeah, because a fence sitter implies it's like somebody who would be in a position to develop opinions on them, or maybe even has them, but doesn't want to get into fights with people, so they just sort of sit there like, no, I'm up on the fence. Like, I know what you mean, because it's like, is Boogie a centrist? It's like, well, centrist is kind of a silly term anyway. Like, there's more than one middle, but like the idea that he's a centrist, like, oh, I'm just a moderate. It's like, no, you're nothing. You don't believe in anything other than like personal advantage. So, like, yeah, he's not a centrist, but fence sitting is not even like it's not even accurate. But I understand it as a term because that's what everybody started saying about him when they believed that he did believe in things other than me,
and that was his biggest issue. Like,
Yes. His biggest issue was that he wouldn't take a stance. In a sense, he couldn't survive moving into like post 2016 internet discourse, right? Where like there was a lot of pressure and incentive to essentially start like, talking
Taking
about
a
politics.
side.
Look where he is now.
Yeah, and it didn't
Better
work
than
out
ever.
for him. No.
I never did.
I never did. Man, my favorite fucking crazy Boogie thing is just him repeating the same thing like to a degree that is disconcerting.
Just losing his shit, yeah.
Like he's having a stroke or something.
Yeah, it's just unhinged. It's unhinged to like repeat yourself over and over and over again, and I feel like everybody kind of knows it. Just saying like, like you liar, like it's like, dude, fuck it, I heard you the first time. Like, holy shit,
You're just
calm
making
down.
noises.
Yeah. Well, it's like your brain stopped working, I think. It's like you've when
Given
you
up.
repeat yourself over and over again, it feels like you've entered a different sort of mode of existence. Like your brain isn't really super active. You're like in very just unhinged
You
mode.
become this animal kind of like you can't it's an indication that you can't have a conversation with somebody if at any point they can
like
just sort of revert back to that.
Yeah, like you kind of like you're lost and the conversation's over. We are beyond rationality. Like at this point.
I will not stand for this ragsism. God, someone committed ragsism?
Mm.
You know, someone probably did somewhere.
Yeah,
and
shouldn't do
shame
that.
on them.
Yeah, shame on them.
Agreed.
The gates of hell will have to swing wide to fit his fat carcass.
Oh my god.
Like it opens, he can't get through, and they have to bring it. They have to take him around back.
But Boogie, what do you mean? Boogie believes in God, so he's going to heaven, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
he sure does. Yes, sir. Sup, bitch? This fat bitch got nothing on me. My lawyer, Rakita, paid me $20K to dox and strike people, and it's all tax-free. Okie dokie. My cousin enjoyed watching Boogie. No surprise he did some of the, he did the same of saying heinous stuff online and then farming sympathy without ever battering himself. I mean, I wonder if he does attract people of a similar ilk, because they're like, I can learn.
I guess
from
I
this
wonder,
fella.
right? Like, what kind of audience would he have attracted during his heyday when he was super popular compared to? I guess the thing is that the only audience that exists now is there's like so few people who are unironic, earnest Boogie fans at this point. There are a few of them; they'll still pop up, but they basically don't exist anymore.
I mean, does he even upload anymore, or does he put everything into
I think he
Walkout
still
Live?
uploads occasionally. I think
Team
he
told him that he
still.
needs to do some of that stuff. He needs to keep like a presence.
Oh well, he made a video a couple of days ago. It's yeah. So, but then the other one was like 3 weeks earlier. Yeah, it looks like he's still making stuff, but I mean the viewership is fucking abysmal.
Well, the ratio's not fantastic, is it? Like uploading a video with 17K views when he has 4 million subscribers. That's not great.
I mean it's about as bad. Oh, and he's below. He used to have more than 4 million subscribers, right? And he's fallen below that.
Okay.
Yeah,
He did
that's
use some
that decline.
Honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't bled more than that. You'd think.
You'd
considering
think.
everything.
I guess it's just that so many
Time
people would
frame.
just not be paying attention, or maybe don't
I thought
even.
YouTube
Maybe a
sort
lot
of
of people.
wipes dead accounts here and there as well, though.
I thought. Well, I guess. They're not dead. They might be people who are like using YouTube, but they never use their subscription feed, so like they might not even know that they're
Right.
subscribed to Boogie. Like a lot of people don't use their subscription feed for some reason, which I find weird. Like I don't know why people don't use it. Like why would I not want a chronological feed of like what all of the channels I'm subscribed to have done in the last, day? Why would I want to rely on the recommendations of but yeah, I guess a lot of people don't look at that maybe. I don't know. Yeah, because I agree, right? You think that if basically everybody knew about it that he'd have so many people who'd have left. But I don't know.
For the most part, I use recommendeds, but I always make sure that I keep my like I know who I'm subscribed to, and that's always a tab I can press on to make sure that I haven't missed anything. But generally, I'll use my recommendeds.
Yum, fire retardant. Right.
Ooh, yummy.
His ungodly body fat percentage is defo sending his cortisol and estrogen levels through the roof, so his metabolism has collapsed, so his cells can't oxidize fat properly. In short, he's a cretin. That's the conclusion. Boogie Fap's the only thing that gives me happiness and protein in my urine in life. Yes, protein in urine. That's another one that's kind of,
That's another one that had long legs.
It's that one I feel pops up less, but whenever it does pop up, it's quite strong.
It's just whenever you find a funny sort of image for a character or a person, you just put protein in urine above it. It's just funny, reliably so.
Yes. I cannot tell which is more painful, Boogie or Acolyte. Summer 2024 has been fucking agony lately. Pray for us here at EFAP, boys. We hurtin'. I did see people say that it was nice to do this Boogie coverage after Acolyte to see what a well-written villain looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
Good comment. Would love to meet Mauler's omniscient, potentially omnipotent wizard friend he uses all the time in his hypotheticals. Sounds like he'd have an interesting opinion on Star Wars. Howdy, Rags.
Hello.
I don't know if the conclusion is that the wizard tends to have like strong opinions about anything. The wizard is like
Accurate observations.
Gives you
over
facts
Yes.
about the
strong
universe. He
opinions.
doesn't really.
Yeah, like the wizard
if you
tells
said
you things that are true, basically.
If he said to him, "Is Star Wars like badly made at this point?" You'd be like, "Yes."
Yeah, he would, but he would say it in a very calm, neutral, like even-handed way.
Yeah.
But generally, the idea is that the wizard is there to help you attain wisdom from within, not necessarily to just share his opinions on everything. He's I've said it before. I always imagine him wearing like a blue cloak with like a blue pointy hat, and a big grey beard.
Yeah.
That's what the wizard looks like to me.
What Pierce looks like when they give him the cookie wizard outfit. Remember in Community? It's kind of like that, but not with the cookie one.
Yeah, kind of. Because I was imagining from Super Mario damn it, his name is escaping me right now. Him, but like a person.
Mm-hmm.
With his or kind of like Mickey Mouse, in Fantasia, in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, like a costume kind of like that, but it's all blue. That's what I imagine him with a big beard, and you can't see much of his face. I kind of imagine him as a cartoon character, not as like a actual person, like a physical person. I imagine him with like very cartoonish facial features.
Yeah.
Most of which are cloaked behind that great big bushy beard.
A great big bushy beard.
Great big and bushy.
I cannot tell. Oh wait, I read that one. Plagueis confirmed a doink. You're not going to see him again now. Leslie Headland doesn't get to play with him. You'll have to pop him something
I
else.
can't believe it. They're like, oh, look, Darth Plagueis, finally, in the Acolyte.
Hello, stupid, sexy Mauler and co-hosts and guests. Seeing Boogie ignore his treadmill is just sad. Me and many others, I am sure, would love to be able to have anything like that. Nothing but excuses for his own failures. The second he steps on that thing, it'll post all over Twitter, being or any social media he has, been like, "Look how far I'm coming. Look how," and you'll say
doing
stuff
it
like,
this time, guys.
Yeah, and you'll say like, "You know what? I feel really good after it. It's all working." We went through some of the history of all the times he's done it. And yet he will just consistently not do it anymore and be like, "Oh well, fuck it. I've farmed it for the sympathy I can, so that's it."
Yeah.
Because fat people working to lose their weight is a reliable place for people to be, like, oh, good for you. And he's farmed that to the fucking maximum.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boogie must be like the asylum demon to his wife. Asylum demon's got a big ass. Make asylums great again.
Now I just imagine that the music plays as he approaches. Like he's gone to the toilet. You just hear do, 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 like the music as he's walking down the hallway.
The health bar appears, but it's basically just 10 HP left.
As he rounds the corner, yeah.
Oh, poor guy. Nope, stream's gone. Sorry, Boogie fans. Also, hi, Rags.
Hello.
That reminded me of the Zaz phone calls in Arkham City. Oh, when he's talking to his wife, I think. Boogie, do you remember that? That shit was so fucking awkward.
Jeez, yeah.
Never ever do that ever again.
Oh man, that was so bad.
I agree with Boogie. The right thing was to scam his fans out of 5K for fake cancer. Well, he ended up paying a lot of that back with, a lot of people managed, like Mudahar and Destiny managed to convince him that he should be, giving it back to charities and stuff. I don't think he got rid of all of it, though. But he was getting there. Boogie, if I could switch places with her right now, Leonardo from Django, you will? If this is like a reference to one of the many times that he would try and pretend that he would do hypothetically something sort of noble, if ever it's possible to actually create the situation, you won't get that result. The most noble Boogie ever is, or good, is always hypothetically.
In a hypothetical situation where Boogie does something selfless. Yeah. Purely hypothetical, of course.
And anything that, other people don't have context on, he'll take the chance. Like, oh yeah, I was actually amazing during that. And you're like, yeah, you were good lad. Lost 80 pounds since last February. Any fat YouTube censor like Boogie that say it's impossible are lying through their greasy teeth, calories in, calories out. Dude, there's no question that Boogie could have lost a significant amount of weight if he actually did and said the things that he says that he doesn't says. He's obviously eating shit tons of food. Nobody is confused about that.
A lot of bad food.
Yeah.
He has to be, otherwise he wouldn't be as fat as he is. It's pretty simple.
He will, because like
it is simple.
There's plenty of disagree with Keemstar, but I think there's a part where like Boogie says, I can't lose weight, or I got this, I got that, and Keemstar's just like, stop fucking eating. It's just like, here you go. It's crazy. Eating food means that the food has to get stored somewhere.
Yep, you are taking in more energy than you're burning, so you get bigger. It's that simple.
Yep.
Didn't say it's easy to lose weight, but it is simple. It really is.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be a lot of, it's the only thing that brings me joy in life today. Is that joke getting old? I hope not. It's the only thing that brings me joy in life. Well, I think we're alright still for a few more years. Not forever.
I think so. That's a classic. That's a classic Boogism.
Yu-Gi-Oh card of the... Oh, wait, you know what? Well, I'll move the of the day stuff to the last.
Okay.
We got a Yu-Gi-Oh! I think there's an
Give us
animal
something to
and an
look forward
extinct
to.
animal. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The title
Run the
is...
gamut.
The title is Genius. Thanks for the laugh. That was Springy's idea, I believe. Darth Boogie the Wide.
Yes. I was pretty happy with that.
We
Which
had
is
the
better,
subtitle
Darth Boogie the Wide or Man of Steel?
Well,
Man of Steel's pretty good.
I mean, that's a whole different era. I remember
because that's tough.
I'm quite fond of them both. These, I think, subtitle was the 10th Circle of Hell, which is maybe too extreme because he's not actually the worst human being on the planet, but he's pretty bad. Wouldn't want him in control of literally
too much
anything.
for him.
Don't want him in hell. Maybe a grease fire, and those are really, really dangerous. The Mr. Savile of YouTube. Yeah, see, that's probably too far. You don't need to. Let's not compare him to one of the most horrible people in history. He's bad, but he's not Jimmy Savile bad. Maybe you could compare just on the fact that he got away with it for so long. Very, aspects, whatever. Shout out to Mr. Snowflake YouTube channel. He does good stuff. Same with his hetero life mate Jimmy Barker. He was. I invited him on to cover Boogie with us. He's a Boogie historian as well.
Ah,
I
a
think he was too
Boogie
busy.
historian.
Boogstorian. If Boogie was a Pokemon, he would be a Guzzlord.
What is that like a newer Pokemon? Because I've maintained and insisted he is absolutely not Snorlax.
Snorlax is happy and content.
Snorlax is happy. Exactly, he is content and peaceful and calm. What is this other one though? If we can get an image
This is apparently what Guzzlord looks like.
No.
I suppose I can see it a little bit, and that he's like a bit of a
too edgy.
chongo. But yes, I think that's the problem. Is like what you need is somebody who has like an appearance of being nice,
sad,
but then concealed behind that is
that meme of like the fish that's like a face, but it's like a blob. You know what I'm talking about?
The blobfish.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it would be like that combined with this.
Yeah. That's good actually, because the blobfish is the pathetic facade, and this is what is like concealed behind it.
It wants to consume everything, but it has almost zero power.
Yeah,
to do
maybe
so.
it's like the blobfish attached to the fish with the light bulb, the bottom of the ocean.
Anglerfish,
It's like but the bulb is the blob, and the anglerfish is this. Maybe that's like a way of thinking about it.
Killer's row of guests to drag the biggest piece of shit on the internet. Good work, boys. It was an all-star. We had all kinds of people in there. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Boogie2988, King of Lies. Look upon my lard, you pay pigs and despair. I don't even know if there's anyone left in that regard. Like, there may be one person who's still supporting him because they think he's a good person. It's not impossible because of the amount of...
They don't know. They just know what happened.
Isn't that crazy? There probably is a person who actually has no idea who supported him, like, 15 years ago or whatever, and just assumes he's still that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they were to be given, like, a brief history, they would just be like, that's insane. That's not true. G'day, lads. How are we? Yeah, pretty
Hello.
good. Pretty good.
Doing A-okay. Doing A-okay.
Boogie is a first-class demon of the abyss. He was placed on the material plane due to the chaos he caused. We have to say his true name to banish him to hell. Deus Vult. Oh, what is his true name? Something maybe none of us have heard yet.
Oh, yeah. You know what they say? If you learning a demon's name, you have power over it.
Robs its power.
Probably keeps his true name hidden away from the world. He'll never tell anyone.
Boogie looks like he swallowed 2 George Lucases. Oh.
Jeez.
Az should take Boogie in a boxing match. Boogie cannot beat anyone in a boxing match. He's like incredibly
he couldn't
fragile.
beat Wings of Redemption.
Wings would claim he could take a lot of people on, but I don't think this. Let's be honest. It's like Boogie was a very easy. We watched the thing. Boogie didn't even like successfully properly throw much of a punch at all. He was just, and even if he does and it connects, it doesn't do anything. Boogie probably sweats Mountain Dew at this point. Also, EFAP 300 soon. Yay!
That's
Come
right.
And
no, it's still coming.
How far are we away from like
forward to it?
350?
Already.
I mean, we're getting there.
We are getting there. Yeah, we're getting there.
Please ask Tip Tent. Does that relate to Tipster? I was gonna say that's
Tipster. Yeah.
I don't know much about Tipster lore. I just know it's a big thing.
It's mostly been Black's Tent lately, but.
So is Destiny the new favorite guest who's never coming back on ever again? We are more than happy to have all kinds of people on if they suit the subject or the chemistry. Destiny, I don't know. It's just like maybe we bring him on to cover more Boogie or something someday. Like I said, I don't know. Whatever we can figure works, but no guarantees. Boogie buys Teslas. Wings buys trucks. That's how I knew Wings would win the boxing match. Did Boogie ever actually buy the Tesla?
I don't think he did, right?
I think it was all bullshit, right?
I think that was another web of lies that I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I can't remember what the story was on that one, but
because we went through the chapter, but
yeah, because he wanted to get a Tesla. He said he put a down payment on it, I think, but it was $100,000 car, which was something that he absolutely couldn't afford, and then he was asking people to open buy it and give him money. that you could buy a Tesla, and then it just never happened. Because again, why the fuck you spending $100,000 on a car? Like in general, unless you're like ultra wealthy, why you spending $100,000 on a car? That's ridiculous.
Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, you get someone, some YouTuber or whatever, and they buy this really expensive car, and then it just so happens, oh shit, like you don't have any money anymore. What are you doing buying these
Oh
expensive
no,
cars?
yeah, that's what happens when you spend $100,000 on a car. Like, why would you? I don't know, and also, if I had $100,000 to spend on a car, like, I don't think I'd be
I
buying a
wouldn't spend it on
Tesla.
a car.
I wouldn't be buying a
Yep.
car that cost that much money. That's for sure. But if I was, surely you'd be looking at some like fancy brand, right? Rather than like Tesla. I guess Tesla's
Yeah,
technically kind of like
because it
fancier
doesn't.
in terms of its more premium cost, but like, wouldn't you want to be buying like an Audi or something?
Yeah, there's some really nice Audis out there. There's all kinds of nice cars, but if you have 100 grand to buy in a car, what you have is the opportunity to buy a car that really
You just
suits
yeah,
you.
you could just buy a Toyota Corolla instead and then have like $70,000 left
Like me,
over,
if I had that kind of money, I'd be like, well, if I had 100,000 on a car, I would just put it all into fixing up the car that I have because I really like my current car, and I could get body work done to it. I could pay to have it, recolored, make sure the paint's all nice, go to the interiors and maybe get some upgrades and stuff, or just make sure all the parts are working excellently. That's what I would do with the money because I really do like my car because it suits me. My car like fits me. Like I wouldn't buy an F-150. That's not a car that like it wouldn't make sense for me to have it. It doesn't fit me. I'm not like a big pickup truck guy. Um, but a Tesla doesn't. There's no character in it.
I wouldn't.
Um,
Well, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't buy a Tesla. I mean, but I don't know if I'd buy an electric car, like
I
in
wouldn't
general
know.
at this point.
But think of all the
Um,
cool classic cars that you could get that would be in excellent condition that would make heads turn. Be like, oh look, that's a classic
hmm,
whatever car it is. It wouldn't even have to be
assuming
a
that
muscle car, just a
assuming
really
that you're
nice older
interested in that,
car.
when
Yeah.
again, you could just buy like a regular car. You could buy like a Toyota or a Hyundai or like a Ford. You just buy a normal
If you
car
just need
instead of
something,
spending $100,000.
if you just need an upgrade to a walk-in, yeah, just buy a Corolla.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's the thing of like when you're buying a car, you're also buying the maintenance costs as well. And like, what do you want? You want a car that like has low maintenance costs because it's like ubiquitous and there's places everywhere that you can get it fixed and the parts are cheap, or do you want to buy like a fancy European car that's gonna be like really expensive to maintain and you got to import parts and stuff? But I mean, but buying the Tesla, it was just stupid. It's because it's because he wanted to buy a status symbol, which is kind of like what Teslas are to some extent.
Is
But
weird.
like,
I just like, yeah,
it
it's
is
just
weird. Yeah, like I mean,
better to have a
I don't know.
really nice, cheaper car than to have
I'd
like
say
because
so.
if you buy a new Tesla, that's not impressive as it is or interesting. It's certainly not as interesting as I got this really cool like 80s or 90s car that's a little bit
Mhm.
iconic and classic and it's in really good condition and it shows that you've got some element of like you're
Well, it shows that
displaying
you're a
some
car
aspect of
enthusiast.
taste. Yeah, it's like
You're an
I
enthusiast of cars.
even if you aren't a car enthusiast, you're like, oh, I thought about the car that I was going to get. It wasn't just like what new trendy thing is happening, but like this is an old car I really like for whatever reason, and you're displaying
Mhm.
to people that you have some aspect of like taste and personality.
Yeah, and
Whether
I
even if
think
it's
that
like
follows.
some old BMW, some old Mercedes, some old Volvo, those like there's some old more iconic car in a style that they don't really make anymore and you're like, this appeals to me, this appeals to my taste. When people see me in this car, that instantly is like a link that they're making. This person could have any car, they chose to get this one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I figure it's worth, especially if you're interested in cars, because cars have personalities. They kind of
They
have a
do.
face almost. Like the way that they look from the front. It's kind of like it's got a personality. I do like '90s like muscle cars. I do enjoy those types of cars. They're cool. Um, '80s ones
You
as
can have
well.
all of them. If you got $100,000, you can buy like any of those cars. Old Chargers, Challengers, old Mustangs, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You could get a foreign car. You could get some MGM or anything like that and putt around in some cool British little roadster. Um you know there's so many options that you could get. Now,
But
for
no, you just
Boogie,
spent
I think his
$100,000
size
on
would.
That's true. That would be something that,
That
would
would
inhibit it. But again,
actually.
it was just a stupid decision. Like, but the idea of making like a big impulse buy for a fucking car is insane.
Ugh.
It's like making an impulse decision on buying a house, especially if you're going to be taking out a loan, like which he was going to be doing in that. Because like the idea of him buying like a car that he can actually pay for outright is like a fucking fantasy for someone like Boogie. The notion of saving up enough money until you can actually buy the thing outright. It's probably contributed to his financial woes, his debt.
And like tactically speaking, if you're trying to give off this persona of the poor victim who really needs money and he's barely scraping by, boohoo, woe is me. Like buying a Tesla is one of the worst moves that you can make to try and
Exactly.
keep that
Well, again,
facade up.
it's a status symbol of you have like enough wealth that you can like afford to buy what is effectively going to be suboptimal as a car compared to a whole bunch of other cars that are available because of mileage or access to like resources for like refueling. It's saying like I'm well off enough that I can like afford to buy something that a lot of people can't, which is an electric car. So yeah, it doesn't really contribute to the poor, but I don't know if he was on the poor guy grift yet at that point. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
can't
I
remember.
think that
That
was
was like
kind of on the edge.
2019 something, so it was kind of like in the era where shit was starting to get a bit bad in terms of it. But it feels like really like a big thing that marked a change was the video of saying that he needed money because he lost all his
Oh
money on
yeah.
crypto, which I think that was like 2021 or 2. I think that was like a
It's
big
weird
new
it feels so
chapter for
recent,
Boogie.
but I think it's because it feels recent because of how iconic it kind of is to the Boogie timeline.
Yeah, but I think it was a
That
few
really
years ago
was a.
because I think it was like at the end of 2021 or something. But
Mhm.
man, that was and then going outside as well to film it so that nobody could see all of his fucking toys. Like it's just everybody
That's what
knew
people pointed
exactly what he
out.
was doing.
Yep. Like, huh, I can't help but notice that you're on your shitty little back porch for this one and not in your big
Yeah.
collectible nerd room.
The classic moment.
Mm-hmm.
Did anyone catch Keem saying Boogie was fired, but also that he needed to wear a Metica hat? Why wear who would make a fired Boogie wear it? Because he was never fired.
Nah.
Nope.
Never
The
gonna be
day
the
Boogie
thing.
gets fired is the day that entire project ends.
Yeah, and you'd say, like, what would it take to get him fired? Would he have to, I don't know, fucking lie about having cancer? And you're like, apparently that's not enough, so...
Wow.
No, that was
That's not enough.
excellent for the
Yeah.
podcast. That whole arc was amazing.
Throwback to some black guy defending better help from all accusations of foul play to pwn the quartering.
Long time ago.
Better help suck. Obviously, they had a better reputation the further back in time you go. I guess. Once upon a time, they were promoted by pretty much everybody, right?
I mean, there are still
They're
ads
popular.
that get around though. They still
yeah.
pop up.
There's still people who... Man, that one's special to me, I
They
guess.
took the money.
Because it's so... There's so many, like, sort of leftist video essays that'll take the sponsorship. And it's just like, man, your principal should
Yeah.
never let you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
But that money.
Someone made a spanking machine in TOTK. Tears of the Kingdom, I guess?
Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can build a lot of crazy
That's probably
stuff
not
in that
even
game.
that shocking compared to some things
Yeah,
we make.
that doesn't sound
Almost
Mhm.
normal. It's like, yeah. I'm glad Mr. Rogers isn't alive to know this man was once compared to him. He wouldn't understand at all. He'd be like...
Yeah, he wouldn't get it.
Well, he's just a sad man who needs a lot of help, and we can't give up on him.
No, Mr. Rogers, we have to kill him. He's like,
Oh my
no.
god, he must be exercised with fire.
Boogie is correct on one thing. Principle is something sorely lacking in socio-political spheres nowadays. Too bad Boogie is an example of how not to do it. Is that something Boogie said?
I mean, maybe he did, but like that's hilarious coming from him. Yeah, you know what? You know what's bad? People who don't have spines, as he collapses to the floor. It's like, wait, where'd mine go?
Pile of flesh.
Never had one. He has to roll around, like just sort of like flopping over, tumbling over, like limbs flailing as he moves forward.
Explain Hassan then. Rags, you're the best. Assume you said that
Oh.
at some point regarding maybe socio-political principles.
It was probably something incredibly witty and funny and
Mhm.
clever. a real ragism for the ages. Something I'll pass down to my children and they to their children. Something we'll all remember, even though it escapes me at the moment.
Boogie bringing
Another
Mountain Dew
banger.
sales down, Synthetic Man bringing Dr. Pepper sales down, Gollum bringing up Dirty Water sales. Sleep tight, Dirty Water. I remember that quote. A strange guy, that Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
If Boogie would have crashed out and put it into an S&P index, he would have grown that 500k to another 100 plus, 100 to 150k plus.
If I ever had that kind of money sitting in a bank account, like the first thing I'd do is I'd call up some investment firm or whatever and say, you need to help me. I need all of your advice. Just take because eventually you get to a certain point of money where it's done. You've won. And it's just a matter of turning that large sum. I wanted to say sum and lump and it became sump. That large sum lump of money. And all it does is just becomes bigger.
Sump is a thing, right?
It is. It's like a sump is. I think it's like a
or hollow in
like
which liquid collects. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a weird ditch. I think it's typically used to collect. It's for like buildings and stuff where a sump pit can. It's like for drainage or something along those lines. But if you have a sump full of money, that's a lot of money. A lot of money in a sump.
Yeah, big old sump. On Succession Season 2 right now, good rat so far, already one of my favorites, love the characters, plot, and soundtrack, and not going to continue past because of your breakdown.
Oh, man, yeah, the first 3 seasons, boy.
I mean, first
and then
2. The third one I'm not, in retrospect, I don't think you need.
You don't really need it, no, it's still good, you can continue. It's just that it feels a lot emptier compared to the first 2, but god, those first 2 seasons are so good.
2's finale makes for the better ending than 3's finale.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
That's why I would stop after 2, because you get the point. It's been made. Kendall has, understood the role he needed to reach, and his father is now, instead of being ashamed, frustrated, and subversive to him, he's kind of impressed. That was the way it was going, and then they changed it all up, and gradually, holy shit, what a waste of Logan's death too, man.
Oh, I know. Spoilers.
Yeah. I really have little care for spoiling something that I think is absolute crap. I'm just like, okay. But yes, somewhat. My Cthulhu
Not something
plushie,
this person will have to worry about.
I will say too, when watching Succession, I always thought he was gonna die. Kind of like he's gonna die at some point, and how's that gonna play?
I mean, it's called Succession. Is the name of the show.
Well, true, but like a lot of it is the fact that he just won't die. Like it's like, come on.
Everyone's ready for it, and it doesn't happen. Will this one be the one?
My Cthulhu plushie arrives in 10 days or so. Beautiful.
Hey, nice. Mine actually arrived this week, and they're really coolio.
Well, the Cthulhu would be the
pariah.
That's the
one,
yeah.
I guess timeline.
Yes, I've got mine as well. I'm thrilled.
I love the first EFAP episode with Nicholas Diorio. Rewatch it quite a bit. Happy to see a part 2. Thank you, Mola. Also, hi, Rags and Fringy.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it was this episode, the following one, and Nick made it to all of the Boogie segments at the anniversary. He was vigilant to make sure he could make it. It was very entertaining. You may just,
at this point,
in theory, see more of him on EFAP. Who knows?
Possibly.
You just might.
Who knows? Love the new Mola PFP. What was the inspiration? What one was I using?
Maybe it
was the one I'm using right now, yeah. Technically, the inspiration was Rags.
Yeah.
You got, I guess, not in the sense of what it ended up looking like in terms of I spoke to the artist just to make sure I was like, try and get a loop that captures a lot of what might match for speaking, which I think Rags kind of got as well. And, the artist mostly took care of it.
Yeah, very talented artist. Did a really cool job, and it's really neat to kind of see him moving around when you talk. It's a cool effect for a podcast. Even though we have icons and we don't have like webcams or anything, it's still an opportunity to show that, that person talking kind of vibe.
I agree.
Which I like a lot.
I like it. I'll be looking into building a new PC next year because my Asus G15 Advantage Edition has been fucking me over the past 2 years. Wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
Best of luck.
A lot of options out there.
Unbelievable character study. This is why EFAP's my #1 favorite podcast. Also, hi, Rags and Fringy.
Hello.
We really should be considered a variety podcast if anyone didn't already. Like the kind of shit you end up with compared to other stuff. It's just like, this week we're going to be looking at the entire life and times of a monster. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. Sacrifice is my only joy in life, Luthen Rail. Definitely one of his quotes. I don't know much about Boogie and tuned in late, but faking cancer's enough to judge. He needs to find Jesus, or better yet, play Trails in the Sky. I mean, yeah, sure. Jesus wouldn't have faked cancer. You know, that's just that's beyond. You'd be very disappointed in Boogie. Morley, you coward! Watch 1997's The Edge, starring Anthony Hopkins. Do it, or be branded a yeller for the rest of your life.
The Edge.
I think I know this one. Is Alec Baldwin?
I don't think I've heard of it.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, I think the two of them get stuck on like a mountain and they have to survive. But I have not seen it yet. I will try and get it.
I wish I could get stuck on a mountain with. What did he say? Anthony Hopkins or Liam Neeson? Okay, Anthony. Either one, but.
Okay, yeah. Try and set that up.
Yeah, if Anthony, I know you watch our show, and Liam, just hit us up. I'll go on a mountain.
Why not, eh? You know, I feel like they we do talk to them regularly. They guested a few times.
Yes.
All right, we have our animal of the day. Animal of the month is what they say. The golden brush-tail possum. Very cute.
Ooh, this sounds like it could be cool.
Oh,
Well, we can't see his tail. We got to get a picture of the tail to see how much it resembles a brush. Though that is a really cool critter, just that alone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at him go.
These two together should suffice.
Yeah, look at him go.
Oh, yeah, I see it. That's, yeah. A brush-tailed, the golden brush-tailed possum. Yeah, there's like a golden brush tail. That's really neat. I like that. Nice. They're simple designs, but I like them. I like them.
Maybe I wonder where they're from.
Maybe space.
The brushland. Yeah. Panspermia. Yeah.
Our extinct animal of the day is the Platybelodon, which
Platybelodon.
Look here, he's this looks very much again like a spore creature of just like, oh wow, you took some stuff from things we know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that looks like a Lord of the Rings creature. Yeah, that's one of those fantasy critters.
He's a wacky like elephant crocodile.
Yeah, you can totally see the elephant in there. You're like, oh, that's a lot of elephant.
It looks like it really is like a proto elephant kind of, yeah. And so platy, what is the platy? I assume references the sort of the front of the mouth, because it's kind of like because I think you think platy, you're like, oh, platypus, and you think, oh, well, what's that word platy does it refer to? And I would assume it refers to kind of like the mouth structure there, kind of being bill-like.
I have no idea. We have our Yu-Gi-Oh card of the day as well.
Okay, yeah.
The Doodle Beast Stego.
Oh, he looks great. Look at him. I like him a lot.
I
like Doodle Beast. I like the Doodle Beast. If you control no monsters, or if all monsters you control are dinosaur monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can add one Doodlebook spell trap card from your deck to your hand, then discard a card. You can only use each effect of Doodle Beast Stego once per turn. Interesting. I like the art a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hard to believe that these once roamed the earth.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So the next one here is asking us to look up Mecha Godzilla from 1974. Let's see if we can get a nice little picture of him. He's our first candidate. Then Mechagodzilla from 93
Okay. See our progression
is
here.
our candidate. And Mechagodzilla, or rather, so look up that. Super Mechagodzilla and Kiryu from 2002 and 3. Second. I can see how these are connected. Well, alright. This is our 3. What do we think?
I'm
I like the first
one.
and third. The
That's
first
funny. I was
and
gonna say I
third.
like the first and the second. Third one feels like those cannons on his shoulders are a bit I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I think they're definitely going for more like a robo, like tanky mech kind of like weaponized mech thing, but I like the design of a lot of the way that the plates and everything fit together and how it can move.
There's
And with
that,
the first one, it has this old school like
retro
iron,
sci-fi.
like this retro Iron Man suit kind of thing going on. And I
that
prefer the
one-
first and the third.
First one's winning for me.
I think I'm going to go with the first myself. I really do like the... looking at those joints, it's like, oh yeah, that feels really
Nice
like
and
nice and
clunky.
retro and plunk, but also sci-fi, yeah. His keel. Not too interested. The second one's not doing anything for me, and then the third one may be a little over-designed for me, but, you know, still cool. I love it. And with that, we have answered all of the messages sent in EFAP 294. Thank you so much for joining us and for sending in those very generous and interesting messages of all kinds. But for now, we're going to leave, and we'll see you in whatever the next thing you check us out in is.
That's right. Whatever that is, we will see you there.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.